Now, I hate to break it to you, but if your sales leads aren't buying, the problem isn't with them, the problem is with you. And in today's video, we're going to look at 5 reasons that your leads just won't bite and 5 things that you can do to fix it. Hi, my name is Will and I make selling simple. And today we're looking at reasons why your leads just aren't buying. Reasons like, well, they're only halfway there. They understand the reason behind your product. Sure, it looks good on paper, but there's something missing, and we're going to dive into exactly what's holding them back from making that purchase decision. Perhaps they're unqualified, and if you really want to make sure that you're only working with the right buyers, then you need to follow the 8-step framework that I'm going to show you in a second. Reason number 3, they just don't trust you. But luckily, we're going to outline 3 ways that build trust instantly with your prospects. Then maybe they're being held back by one of the biggest barriers to implementing a new solution. More on that in a second. And finally, maybe you've got commission breath. And trust me, you'll know exactly what this is when I tell you all about it. Now, one of the most important lessons you're ever going to learn in business is the value of self-sufficiency. Best-selling author Nina Purewal told me this on the Salesman podcast.
And one of the big things in sales is you can't control how people are going to react to you. You know, you can only control what you put out there.
And you're going to run into a lot of different people over the course of your sales career. Some of them are going to be a match to work with you and some of them won't be. But for those that are a match to work with you, your product and your service, and they're still not buying, there's only one variable left, and that is you. And that hurts. Right? Salespeople all have egos. Well, don't worry. There are some steps that you can take to fix these issues, and that's what we're going to cover in today's video. 5 reasons people aren't buying from you and 5 solutions to counteract these issues as well. So let's start with a big one. They're only halfway there. Now, in B2B sales, a lot of the decision making happens on logic. Does this product meet our requirements? Is the price within our budget? Can we implement this on our schedule? These are the kind of logical questions that your prospects are asking themselves before they do a deal. But if you only appeal to the logical side of things, you're missing out on a super valuable selling opportunity. Because, well, in reality, most sales start with emotion. The buyer makes an emotional commitment to buy first, and then they typically justify it after the fact with logic. Maybe that emotion is that they want to be respected by their colleagues, or they're looking for ways to catch the eye of the C-suite. No matter what the prospect is after, the emotion, the feel comes first, and when you appeal to that emotional side, you're going to set yourself up for a massive win. But wait, there's more. If you're only using logic in your pitches, it actually makes it way easier to get rejected and have buyers run away from you. You're going to hear things like, oh, well, we'll circle back to this next year once the economy settles down. That is a super logical response to a super logical sales process. But if you can attach emotion to your purchase as well, it's like tying down a boat with 2 ropes instead of 1. And when that storm comes and your boat is rattling about all over the place, you're going to be way less likely to lose it to the sea. So make sure you're hitting those emotional pain points with your prospects, not just the logical ones when you're selling and closing them. Next, perhaps the prospect just isn't a qualified lead. And the hard truth of sales is that most of the people that you speak to are just not qualified. Sure, they might give you a little bit of time. Maybe they even come through your sales funnel as an inbound lead, and so you think that they're a fit, but when you've been through several steps of the sales process with many different people, you're soon going to realize that every interaction that you have isn't always a positive one, even if it seems like that on the surface. This is frustrating, I know, but if you do a little bit more work qualifying your prospects up front, you're going to save a whole ton of hassle at the far end of the sales process when you feel like they're all running away from you. Now, the Selling Made Simple Academy's sales diagnosis framework explores how to cover all your bases when you're qualifying leads. So if you want to learn more about how we help salespeople crush quota over at Selling Made Simple Academy, click the link below this video. And why not book a call in with one of our sales specialists and see if you're a good fit for our training. But as a quick overview, you need to be covering each of these steps of the qualification process to make sure that your buyers are qualified and they're not going to run away from you at the end of the process. First off, pain. Is the prospect in pain? Is the issue actually a problem that they want to solve? Next, time. What are the time frames? Are they wanting to order and work with you today, this quarter, or 25 years from now, in which case you're probably not going to be working in the sales role, and so they're not qualified to do business with you. Then we've got fit? Are they a good fit for what you're selling? Can you really fix this prospect's problem or not? This is one for you to decide, yes or no. Next, the return. The return on investment specifically. Does the value of implementing your solution outweigh the cost and the difficulties of getting it implemented in the first place? Will they see a reasonable return on their investment with you? Next up, process. Is your buyer willing to adapt to your process? Will they put in the time, the training, whatever it is to get the most out of your product? Of course, the super obvious one, the budget. Can they physically afford to work with you? Then we have the champion. Is the person you're speaking to the champion within the account, or can they introduce you to the champion, the person who's going to make this deal happen? And then finally, last but certainly not least, the agreement. Did they give you the verbal commitment to work together if you can solve their problem? This is a yes or a no binary. And if they don't say, hey, if you can solve X, we will do Y. If you solve this problem, we will pay you this next quarter when we get the deal done. If they don't say yes, if they say no, then they're not qualified. Again, if you're interested in learning more about this framework and implementing it with coaching one-on-one with me, consulting calls, and all the rest of the value that we offer within the program, head over to salesman.org today and jump in Sell Made Simple Academy. But for now, let's move on to reason number 3 why your prospects might be running away from you. It could be that they just don't trust you. So a simple question for you here. If you got a phone call one day and surprise, surprise, it's you on the other end of the phone and you're pitching yourself, your product, well, would you trust the salesperson that you're speaking to? I mean, would you really trust yourself? Now, there's a lot of hot air and shady tactics and weirdness in some circles of sales. And if you're using exaggeration or just outright lies with your prospects to get deals done and get prospects in the pipeline and moving through the funnel, that needs to stop today, because that kind of crap is devastating to what we call your trust value. So just ignore all that crap, stop doing it. That's all old school sales, 80s, 90s sales, doesn't work anymore, it's not effective. But even if you're not going through all that nonsense and shenanigans, the problem might be that you just don't have enough social proof on your side. So to build up that trust, there's a few things that you can do. First off, you can borrow trust from your company. You can provide buyers with case study, testimonials, endorsements that your company has earned. Even if you're brand new to the company, they should have something there that you can share with your prospects, and you can borrow trust from your organization. Next, you can bolster your own personal reputation. You can do this by building an expansive professional network and engaging with your prospects, not just on the sales process, but other consulting with them as well. And finally, and this is the most important, least implemented, biggest bang for buck thing that you can do right now in B2B sales, you can share insights into the marketplace, specifically with the people who don't trust you, your prospects, the people you want to do deals with. So rather than cold spamming them, share insights, because people respond to value in the marketplace, not pestering, not desperation from salespeople to book calls. If you can do these 3 things right here, which is not a massive time sink day to day, you're likely going to win the trust of your buyers before you even really start to engage with them. That's crazy powerful. The next reason why your buyers might be running away from you is that they're being held back by the most notorious of all barriers to implementation ever, the status quo. Because sometimes the burden of getting started is enough to stop buyers from committing to a deal. There's always going to be growing pains. There's going to be onboarding issues. They've got to fight for budget. Their reputation within their own company is at risk. And this with a lack of trust piled on top from the previous point, if all this is left unattended, it can really kill your deals. That's why it's up to you watching this video right now. It's up to you to help your buyer overcome these barriers. You've got to add that layer of value to them. You've got to help them go from stagnant, from not moving, to massive momentum in their own careers, in their own business. You've got to help them move forward. If they've got onboarding concerns, then offer them personal support during the implementation process of getting your product working within the account. If it's budget that they're struggling with, we'll provide the C-suite focused materials, documents, get your CFO on the phone with their CFO, do whatever it takes to help them over that hump. If it's a lack of reputation and trust, point to your proven track record or get other customers to call that prospect and build that level of social proof. You are responsible for equipping your buyer with what they need to forget their own sales objections. And the better that you are at doing that, the more likely that you're going to be to get a yes from them. And the final one here, well, maybe you've got commission breath. What is commission breath? I hear you ask. It's desperation. It's bull, or it's a mix of both. Because if all you're thinking about when you're engaging with prospects is raking in those big fat commissions, I've got some bad news for you. Your buyers can tell. They're not idiots. You're not selling to end consumers here, right? Because a certain percentage of the population are a bit thick and you might be able to scam them. You're selling to, in the B2B space, middle management, C-suite, product-focused people who are going to use the product professionally. You can't scam these people. They're going to smell that crap a mile away. Your buyers can tell if you try and screw them. And if you really don't believe in your product and the only thing that you're concerned with each month is a big fat paycheck, then there's no way in hell you're going to make the sale. And this is somewhat counterintuitive, right? Because I only exist on YouTube to earn you more money. That's the only reason that I'm creating this content. I don't care about what sales management think, leadership, company revenues. All I care about is putting more commission in your back pocket every quarter. Yet I'm here saying you can't just focus on that if you want to have success. So what is the solution here? Well, you need to find a product that you care about. You need to change your focus to providing real value within an account. And if you can't do either of those things, you probably need to get out of the selling business. Otherwise, your prospects are going to feel this commission breath being sprayed all over them and they're never going to buy. The less commission breath you have, the more money you're going to make. This is counterintuitive, I know, but it's so, so important. This is a tough pill to swallow, but sometimes the truth in business hurts, right? So there we go. That is 5 reasons that your prospects might be running away from you and 5 ways to solve the issues themselves. And if you enjoyed this video, why not click the video that's on the screen right now and continue making selling simple.